Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So this is the 6th update for my Pan That palette. It will also be my final update for Pan That palette for a while. I don't know if I'll go back to panning my palette, but as I said in my last update, I kind of decided that I don't want to focus on this palette for all of 2018. I really want a chance to use some of my other eyeshadow palettes that are just currently sitting in a drawer. As much as I love the idea of Pan That palette, for me, I just feel bad not being able to use my other stuff. So yeah, I'll show you my current progress with it. This is what my palette currently looks like. I'm trying to hold in Smog because it is falling out of the pan. This is a shade I moved from my Naked palette over to this palette. But here's what my palette currently looks like. I still have pan on the same shades that I did last time, Foxy, Suspect, and YDK. Yeah, I can kind of go shade by shade. So Foxy I've used a few times. The pan hasn't grown that much. I'd really have to focus on this one to make some more progress with this one, but I definitely can use that one up considering how much pan I have. Then I have Half Baked. I think I used this in a shade in a look once. It's just one that I said time and time again I'm not super drawn to. It's super pretty when I use it, but I'm not always like super drawn to using it. Then I have Smog, which I guess now that's in the palette, I'm still working on it. I did use it today. I do really like Smog, so try to use it a few times. Then Chopper. Chopper's super pretty. I love that one for all over the lid. Was one of my favorites in this palette. Then Tease. I think I used Tease a few times. I did use this in one look, like all over the lid. It's super pretty for that. Snakebite. Have I used Snakebite? Every time I'm like, I don't know if I've used Snakebite. I think now that I have Smog in the palette, if I'm looking for kind of a dark look, I go with Smog over Snakebite. So I don't think Snakebite has gotten much use. Suspect I definitely have used. This is kind of my go-to everyday shade for work. So I've definitely made a lot of more progress on that. I have like pan at the top. This like side, like in the middle is all worn away, and it's all worn away on both sides. So this one definitely won't take long to finish up if I just am like solely focusing on it. So made a lot more progress with that. And then I have Pistol and Verb. Pistol, I always forget what one was which. Okay, so Pistol's this darker one, and Verb, I didn't like a look with both of these, like mixing them together. So I occasionally kind of like that like smoky eye look, but not all the time, so those get a little bit of use. YDK is another one I really like. I've used this in like all over the lid a few times. I don't think I've used Busted at all. I think I say that every time. I never use Snakebite, I never use Busted, so that hasn't really gotten much use. And then Blackout, I've used a few times. If I use like a black liner, I will use that to like set the liner, so I've used that a few times as well. So that's my palette, kind of the same progress as always. I focus on Suspect, mainly YDK, the ones I have pan on, and then some of the shades don't really get a lot of use or get like one look of use. So that's what my palette looks like, and it's been 6 months of panning it, so that's what it looks like after 6 months. And yeah, as I said, this is like my last Pan That palette update. You know, I think Pan That palette's great. Some people do it really well, but for me, I just feel bad having some of my eyeshadow palettes just sit in a drawer. So I really want for next year to focus on all of my eyeshadow palettes versus just a single one. So I've tried to come up with some ideas that I think I'll start next year. I really want to do like an eyeshadow challenge, like a 30-day eyeshadow challenge. I did this year like a lipstick challenge, perfume challenge where I used a different product every day. So I thought that would be fun to do with eyeshadow, so I can use all my different eyeshadows. I think it would be kind of a fun way to try to use different shades that I wouldn't normally use. So that is one of the ideas. And the other thing would be like a palette a month sort of thing where I use a different palette each month. I try to use all of the shades, and then I do like a video talking about what I used, what I enjoyed, and then like sharing the next palette that I'd be using. So that would be, you know, a few month long sort of challenge, kind of replacing the Pan That palette, sort of just focusing on rotating my eyeshadows. And then as far as using up the shades Foxy, Suspect, and YDK. The ones I already have pan on. I'm thinking I might put those specific shades into different project pans that I do next year. I feel like that could work for me to kind of like really focus on those shades and get them used up, especially like Suspect. I think that would be great to put on like a project pan. And, you know, at some point in the year, I might feel like coming back to this and try to pan it again, you know, work on it maybe for a few months and do some more project pan or pan that palette updates. I'm just going to kind of have to see, you know, as the year goes on, kind of what I want to do once I do those kind of initial projects. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts with this palette. I do really enjoy using it. I wish I could do everything. I wish I could pan this and use my other stuff, but it just doesn't work. Like I only have 2 eyes. I can only do so much. So that's kind of my thoughts on this. As much as I'd love to like pan this, one, there's just shades in here that I don't foresee myself ever using up. Like I just don't use them that often. And I really want to start being able to use some of my other palettes that I have. So that is where my palette is looking at this point. I do anticipate next year to be able to use up some more of these shades. But yeah, that's kind of it on my Pan It palette. I really appreciate you guys watching this series. Hopefully you're excited for me to do some other sort of eyeshadow palette sort of challenges in the coming year. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.